You wake up, ready to start your day, perhaps reaching for a healthy breakfast. And often, fruit seems like the perfect choice. Right, it's natural, full of vitamins, and easy to prepare. We've been told our whole lives that fruit is good for us. But what if some of those healthy fruits you're enjoying first thing in the morning are actually working against you in ways you never imagined? What if the very things you think are boosting your health are secretly undermining your vitality? Especially as you get a bit older, it can be a frustrating reality, facing changes in your body that you don't fully understand, feeling like things aren't working the way they used to. You try to eat right, stay active, but some aspects of your health, particularly those intimate ones, might still feel challenging. It's a sensitive topic, I know, but it's important to talk about, because sometimes the answer to feeling more like yourself again is hidden in plain sight, in the foods we consume every single day. In this video, we're going to uncover a surprising truth about some common fruits you might be eating for breakfast, and how they could be impacting something very specific and very important to many men over 60. We're going to look at 7 fruits you might want to reconsider eating first thing in the morning if you want to support better blood flow and overall male vitality. It's about making small, informed choices that can lead to significant positive changes. Watch to the end for something that will surprise you about how simple this can be. Let's dive right into the first fruit on our list, one that's incredibly popular and often seen as the epitome of a healthy breakfast item. Yet when consumed first thing in the morning, especially on an empty stomach, it can pose some unexpected challenges for men over 60 looking to maintain peak performance. I'm talking about bananas. Now, before you gasp, hear me out. Bananas are indeed nutritious. They're packed with potassium, vitamin B6 and fiber. But here's the catch. Particularly for that morning meal, bananas, especially ripe ones, are relatively high in natural sugars. When you eat a high-sugar fruit like a banana on an empty stomach, it can cause a rapid spike in your blood sugar levels. Think of it like pouring fuel onto a fire. It burns quickly and intensely. For someone over 60, the body's ability to manage these rapid sugar spikes isn't always as robust as it once was. This quick surge in blood sugar triggers the release of a significant amount of insulin to bring those levels back down. Over time, frequent, large insulin spikes can contribute to insulin resistance, a condition where your body's cells don't respond as effectively to insulin, and insulin resistance is a known factor in metabolic syndrome, which is linked to poor circulation, cardiovascular issues, and, yes, difficulties with achieving and maintaining erections. It's all connected. Healthy erections rely on good blood flow, and issues like insulin resistance and poor circulation directly impede that. So, starting your day with a big sugar rush from a banana might not be the best way to set the stage for healthy blood flow throughout the day. It's not that bananas are inherently bad, not at all. It's about when and how you eat them. Having a banana as part of a larger meal that includes protein and healthy fats can slow down the sugar absorption. But on its own for breakfast, it might be contributing to those subtle metabolic stresses that add up over time. Now, moving on from the humble banana, let's look at another breakfast favorite that might be causing similar issues, perhaps even more so because of how much sugar it contains. We're talking about grapes, whether they're green, red, or purple. Grapes are little bursts of sweetness, and that sweetness comes primarily from natural sugars, specifically glucose and fructose. And like bananas, eating a bowl of grapes on an empty stomach first thing in the morning can lead to a significant and rapid rise in blood sugar. Grapes are often called nature's candy for a reason. They're delicious. But that high sugar content, especially in the morning when your body hasn't eaten all night and is particularly sensitive to sugar spikes, can be quite pronounced. Again, it comes back to that insulin response. Your pancreas works hard to produce insulin to manage that sugar influx. Over time, this constant demand can strain your system and contribute to the development of insulin resistance. And as we've discussed, Insulin resistance and the resulting metabolic issues are detrimental to cardiovascular health and circulation, both crucial for erectile function. Furthermore, the high fructose content in grapes, when consumed in large amounts, particularly without accompanying fiber, can place a burden on your liver. The liver processes fructose, and too much fructose can lead to the production of triglycerides, a type of fat in your blood. High triglyceride levels are another risk factor for heart disease and poor circulation. So, that seemingly innocent bowl of grapes might be contributing to a less than optimal environment for healthy blood flow. It's not about eliminating grapes entirely from your diet, but reconsidering them as your primary breakfast fruit, especially on their own. Pairing them with something that has protein or healthy fats, like some Greek yogurt or a handful of nuts, can help mitigate the sugar spike. But pure grapes first thing. For many men over 60, it's a habit worth reevaluating. Let's consider another popular choice, often found in fruit salads or blended into smoothies: mangoes. Oh, mangoes are delicious, sweet, and tropical. They contain vitamins A and C, which are great for you. But again, we run into the issue of high natural sugar content. Mangoes are particularly high in fructose, just like grapes. Eating a large portion of mango for breakfast, especially on an empty stomach, can send your blood sugar soaring. The glycemic index of mango can be moderately high, meaning it can cause a noticeable rise in blood glucose levels. This morning sugar rush from mangoes initiates the same cycle we've discussed: significant insulin release, potential for insulin resistance over time, and the downstream effects on metabolic health and circulation. For men over 60 who may already have a slower metabolism or pre-existing tendencies towards insulin sensitivity issues, this morning ritual can subtly but surely contribute to systemic inflammation and poor vascular health, two key factors linked to difficulties with erections. Furthermore, the high fructose load needs to be processed by the liver, potentially leading to elevated triglycerides, which impact cardiovascular health and, consequently, blood flow. It's a domino effect. One seemingly small dietary habit can set off a chain reaction that impacts various aspects of your health, including intimate ones. Enjoying mango as a treat, perhaps after a meal with protein and fiber, is a different story. But relying on it as your primary breakfast fruit might be inadvertently harming your chances of maintaining robust erectile function. Moving on, let's address a fruit often juiced or blended into breakfast drinks, sometimes even marketed for its health benefits: pineapple. Pineapple contains bromelain, an enzyme with potential anti-inflammatory properties, and is a good source of vitamin C. However, like the other fruits we've discussed, pineapple is also quite high in sugar. A cup of diced pineapple contains a significant amount of natural sugar, primarily sucrose and fructose. Consuming this concentrated dose of sugar on an empty stomach in the morning can lead to a rapid blood sugar spike. This quick sugar absorption demands a strong insulin response, which, as we've covered, can contribute to insulin resistance and metabolic strain over time. Poor metabolic health directly impacts cardiovascular function and circulation, both of which are fundamental to erectile health. The inflammation that can result from constant blood sugar dysregulation also negatively affects blood vessels, making it harder for them to dilate and allow for sufficient blood flow when needed. Drinking pineapple juice is even more problematic than eating the fruit itself because the fiber is removed, leading to an even faster sugar absorption and a more dramatic blood sugar spike. So, while pineapple has its merits, having a large portion or juice for breakfast might be counterproductive if you're concerned about blood flow and erectile function as you age. Consider it more of a dessert fruit or pair a small amount with a balanced breakfast containing protein and healthy fats. Now, let's turn our attention to another fruit commonly found on breakfast tables, especially in the summer: watermelon. Watermelon is wonderfully hydrating and contains nutrients like vitamin C and lycopene, an antioxidant. But its name gives you a clue. It's mostly water, but the part that isn't water is primarily sugar, specifically a mix of fructose and glucose. Watermelon has a high glycemic index, meaning it can cause a rapid rise in blood sugar levels after consumption. Eating a generous portion of watermelon first thing in the morning on an empty stomach is essentially giving your system a quick shot of sugar. This again triggers that strong insulin response, and over time, contributes to the development or worsening of insulin resistance. Impaired insulin sensitivity and the resulting metabolic issues are directly linked to poor vascular health and reduced blood flow, which are critical components of achieving and maintaining erections. The rapid sugar spike from watermelon can also lead to a subsequent sugar crash, leaving you feeling tired and potentially impacting energy levels throughout the morning, which isn't exactly conducive to feeling your most vital. While watermelon is refreshing, especially in hot weather, reserving it for later in the day or having a smaller portion alongside a more balanced meal is a much better strategy for managing blood sugar and supporting overall metabolic and vascular health. We've covered a few of the more obvious high sugar culprits. Now let's look at a couple more that might surprise you. Starting with dried fruits. While fresh fruit has its sugar challenges, dried fruits like dates, figs, raisins, and dried apricots are essentially fresh fruit with all the water removed, concentrating the sugars significantly. A small handful of raisins, for instance, can contain as much sugar as a much larger portion of fresh grapes. Eating dried fruit for breakfast, especially on its own, is like giving yourself a concentrated sugar bomb first thing. The sugars are rapidly absorbed into your bloodstream because the fiber that helps slow absorption in fresh fruit is often less effective or present in lower proportions relative to the sugar in dried fruit. This leads to a very sharp and quick blood sugar spike, followed by a large insulin response. The repeated stress of these high sugar and insulin spikes on your system contributes directly to metabolic issues, insulin resistance, and inflammation, all of which are detrimental to cardiovascular health and blood flow. And poor blood flow is a primary reason for difficulties with erections as men age. It's crucial to understand that while dried fruits might seem convenient and healthy, their concentrated sugar content makes them particularly problematic for managing blood sugar, especially at the start of the day on an empty stomach. If you enjoy dried fruit, think of it as a very small addition to a meal, not the main component of your breakfast. Finally, let's talk about fruit juices. This might seem obvious after discussing the sugar content of whole fruits, but fruit juice is arguably the worst offender when it comes to sugar spikes at breakfast. When fruit is juiced, all the fiber is removed, leaving behind essentially sweetened water loaded with natural sugars, fructose and glucose. Drinking a glass of orange juice, apple juice, or grape juice first thing in the morning is like giving your body a direct infusion of sugar. There is absolutely nothing to slow down the absorption of these sugars. They hit your bloodstream almost instantly, causing a massive and rapid spike in blood sugar. This demands a huge insulin response from your pancreas. Consistently starting your day with this kind of sugar load puts immense strain on your metabolic system, significantly increasing the risk of developing insulin resistance, type 2 diabetes, and metabolic syndrome. These conditions are strongly linked to poor circulation, atherosclerosis, hardening of the arteries, and overall cardiovascular disease, all major contributors to erectile dysfunction in men over 60. Even juices marketed as healthy or natural are essentially sugar water without the beneficial fiber of the whole fruit. If you want the nutrients from fruit, eat the whole fruit perhaps strategically later in the day and paired with other foods rather than drinking the juice. Especially not for breakfast on an empty stomach. Avoiding fruit juice as a regular part of your morning routine is one of the simplest yet most impactful changes you can make for your metabolic health and, consequently, for maintaining better blood flow and vitality. So, we've looked at 7 fruits: bananas, grapes, mangoes, pineapple, watermelon, dried fruits, and fruit juices that, while seemingly healthy, can pose challenges when consumed for breakfast, especially on an empty stomach, due to their high sugar content and potential impact on blood sugar. Insulin. and overall metabolic and vascular health, which is intimately linked to erectile function. It's not about villainizing these fruits entirely. They can be part of a healthy diet when consumed in moderation and, importantly, at the right time and paired with the right foods. The key takeaway here isn't to fear fruit, but to be mindful of when and how you consume it, particularly as you get older and your body's metabolic responses change. Starting your day with a high sugar load can set you up for blood sugar instability, insulin resistance, inflammation, and poor circulation throughout the day. And consistent poor circulation is simply not compatible with robust erectile health. Instead of these high-sugar fruits on their own for breakfast, consider options lower in sugar or pair your fruit with protein and healthy fats to slow down sugar absorption. Think about a handful of berries with Greek yogurt and nuts, or maybe half an avocado on whole grain toast. These combinations provide sustained energy without the dramatic sugar spike. Remember, small, consistent changes to your diet can have a profound impact on your overall health and vitality. You have the power to make choices that support your body and help you feel your best. At any age, taking steps to manage your blood sugar and improve circulation isn't just about one aspect of your health. It's about enhancing your energy levels, protecting your heart, and yes, supporting your intimate health and confidence. It's about living a fuller, more active, and more satisfying life. Don't let the simplicity of this advice fool you. It's often the small, everyday habits that make the biggest difference over time. Reevaluating your breakfast fruit choice is a simple, actionable step you can take starting tomorrow morning. It might feel like a small change, but the cumulative positive effect on your metabolic health and blood flow can be significant. I hope this has given you some valuable insights and practical ideas you can implement right away. Your health is your greatest asset, and making informed choices about what you eat is a powerful way to invest in it. If you found this information helpful, please give this video a thumbs up. It really helps the channel reach more people who can benefit from this kind of information. And I'd love to hear from you. What are your go-to healthy breakfast options? Share your thoughts and experiences in the comments section below. It's great to build a community where we can all learn from each other. And if you haven't already, consider subscribing to the channel. We share regular tips and insights specifically for men and women over 60 who want to live their healthiest, happiest, and most vibrant lives. Don't miss out on future videos that can help you navigate the unique health challenges and opportunities that come with age. Making informed choices is key to aging well and maintaining your quality of life. Thank you for watching. And here's to living your best life at every age.